for states to regulate, and it did not take the states' rights away for doing that. But really, the bigger picture, I think, is accountability. And the open carry people, you know, you've heard Mr. Chang say that we are well-trained, we are law-abiding citizens. The fact that we don't know that, and whether you think that's infringing upon your personal rights, your Fourth Amendment rights, to ask you that, that's a ridiculous argument. We hold our police officers, we hold our law enforcement accountable for everything that they do. Every time they use that weapon, they're accountable to the community, to their organization, to the victims have recourse if it's misused. We don't know anything about the open carry people. We don't know if they have criminal records. We don't know if they say they're well trained, but that doesn't mean they have emergency police training. That doesn't mean they can react in a high stress situation. We are just expected to take their word for it. So here we hold law enforcement to a very high standard. We videotape everything that they do. We want accountability for everything. And open carry people were just supposed to say, okay, we'll take your word for it.
Mr. Shahab.
Again, I'm going to try to keep this brief. I don't want to sound too much like Bill Clinton and start parsing what is. But if you look at Scalia's, what his ruling was in the Heller decision, he clearly went into what a prefatory clause is and what a controlling clause is. So we can settle the militia part of that clause with that. But as about with regards to accountability, after the fact, if open carrier acts irresponsibly, they will be held accountable. They will be held accountable to the law, and they will be tried in front of a jury of their peers. And what we're not saying that open carry is a carte blanche to be able to fire a weapon anytime that's necessary. We're saying open carry allows us to carry a firearm, and if our government actually believes that our citizens are responsible members, we should be trusted to act in a responsible manner. And if somebody goes too far and steps over that line, then yes, they should be held accountable to the full extent of the law.
Assemblywoman, is this really a matter of public safety in that? Can we cite any instances in which an open carrier has led to an instance of injury, or is this more a matter of law enforcement resources, as you were saying earlier?
Well, it's really both. We are seeing a spectrum of behavior, starting with what is not a crime, which is carrying a handgun and potentially carrying ammunition separate from that gun. And the spectrum is the gun removed from the holster? Is it brandished in a threatening way? Is it loaded? Is it discharged? Is the person who does those things trained? Are they responsible and accountable? So there is a spectrum. And the question really becomes, from law enforcement's perspective, do we want to create the potential for this spectrum, for people to move along this spectrum, from carrying a gun to those steps? It is those steps, removing it from the holster, loading it, brandishing it, threatening or intimidating someone, and ultimately discharging that weapon, that then becomes the crime. So to say, has open carry ever been a crime? Well, open carry is not a crime under current California law. Those other activities are, but the starting point on the spectrum is the open carry. And by removing that, by removing people carrying guns that have, under current regulations, I tell people, under current regulations, there are no regulations. This is not a regulated practice. They have no need to produce identification. And the gentleman sitting here, the organization exists in nowhere. There is no physical address. There is no board of directors. There is no accountability. And their address on their website is registered out of state in Arizona at a mailbox that hundreds of thousands of websites intentionally hiding from public view use every day. So there is no accountability on behalf of these gentlemen, and if anyone violates a law related to open carry, they will immediately disavow it, say we are not part of an open carry organization, and then we're dealing with other types of crimes.
Mr. Shahab, you're itching to reply.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that Ms. Saldana acknowledges that brandishing a firearm is illegal. We agree. Chang and I both agree with that, I'm assuming. And your argument that you want to get rid of open carry as the starting point of this spectrum, Wouldn't the logical conclusion, according to your interpretation, be to ban gun ownership outright? If that was possible, that would be the logical starting point for your argument. But with regards to responsible citizens of California, I know Yih-Chau was introduced as the press secretary for the RCC. I have been an individual open carrier for a while now, one of the first up here in the Bay Area. And actually, I was approached by the RCC a number of weeks ago, and they told me that they liked what I was doing, and they wanted me on board. And a moment ago, it was mentioned that the RCC has no board of directors and no physical address. That's actually incorrect, because I sit on the board of directors for the Responsible Citizens of California. I attend regular meetings at a physical address. So any ideas that you think that we're going to go away, they have to go out the window. I don't have it at my disposal right now, but afterwards No, we have an address right now in San Jose, California. Afterwards, I'd be glad to present it to anyone here in the media. I don't have the card on me right now, but it does exist, and I'm not lying to you. If I'm lying to you on this, call me out on it. But it exists.
I think I
All right. Let's keep it all clean and civil here. Ms. Armstrong.
Right now, a gang member can open carry if they don't have a felony, and some of them don't. So the fact that these two gentlemen, who are probably upstanding citizens and very nice people, are declaring that themselves to be trustworthy, there is no we, there is no group, and they don't know each other's backgrounds. The rest of them don't know each other's backgrounds. They're meeting each other over the internet, so it's an internet love affair with no background check. So the accountability is a huge issue, and that is the risk to public safety.
Mr. Chang.
First of all, we're not meeting each other over the internet, and there's definitely no love affair going on. We're meeting each other, first of all, at these open carry events, and we meet each other in person and actually have a really good time. We're like-minded individuals who like to congregate together and exercise our Second Amendment rights. Now, Assemblywoman Saldana has mentioned the California budget crisis a number of times, and I'd like to address that myself. During the course of the next year and a half, by the end of 2011, 13,400 convicted felons will be released onto the streets, our streets, California society, because of California budget cuts. Last year alone, we lost 1,000 police officers because of budget cuts in this state. It is now the time to take away each common law-abiding citizen's ability to defend themselves legally. Think about this. California already has a higher than national average violent crime rate. We're at 503.8 per 100,000 violent crime rate. The nation has a 454 per 100,000 violent crime rate. This lower violent crime rate on the national level is based purely because we have 40 states that have shall issue concealed carry and 43 states that have open carry. Think about this. Is now the time to take away our Second Amendment.